Oops. Oops. Guess I can leave that there. All right, what is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless wonder, the man Lincoln Clay, and we are back with a live stream. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, or at least I attempted to do one a few days ago on the PlayStation, playing ACC. Didn't go very well. Ended up deleting that stream. You can hear the disappointment in my voice. Dejected, pissed off. Let me bring up this podcast so I can get the chat. Popped out. Pissed off. All right, there we go. And just move this chat on over here. So, today was supposed to be the biggest day of my gaming life. Today, the RTX 4090 launched. And I was very hopeful that I would be able to get one, given the current climate of GPU these days. So, according to experts and opinions, the GTX or RTX, 4090 was supposed to be easier to get this time around. Wait a minute. What do we got here? H&R Block. Hold on. Let me check this out. Checking an email real quick. Whatever. Okay, I'm sorry, folks. So, as I was saying, the RTX 4090 was supposed to be easier to get this time around because, according to experts, sources, opinions, this go around, the launch, there was supposed to be like 4 to 5 times more cards available for launch than, say, the 3090 when it launched. Then we have a situation where there's currently a flood of 3,000 cards all over the place on eBay. Nvidia's, I guess, still has a stock of 3,000 cards that they're trying to get rid of. And I guess they're going to fabricate a way to get rid of them, which I guess I'll talk about that in a little bit. But most of you who followed the story probably already know what Nvidia's plan is. And then the other factor is AMD. I guess they're making an announcement. They will officially be announcing, I guess, their RDNA 3 cards or whatever it is. I'm not really too familiar with AMD like that. In any case, that scenario, all those elements is supposed to present a scenario where Nvidia would probably want to produce as many 4090s as possible and try to get rid of all of them as soon as possible. Which sounded believable. The one thing that I did not count on is the scalpers. They did it again. They bought up everything. Now, I thought the scalpers would be taking a big gamble, buying up the 4090s. Because of all the elements that I just mentioned. I figured we didn't have to worry about the crypto miners because, you know, crypto mining is pretty much, you can't make any money off of it now from what I'm understanding. And Ethereum, I guess, was the most common form of cryptocurrency that was being mined, is going to proof of stake. So I don't quite understand what that means, but what I do know is that people have been saying it over and over again, that because of Ethereum going to proof of stake, people will actually lose money mining Ethereum. So you combine that with China banning crypto mining, and that started the great GPU flood. That started the process of people getting rid of their 3000 cards. And in my opinion, that kind of, in the beginning, I think the scalpers will still, you know, it had a little bit of an advantage, but I think as more and more cards started to flood the market, the prices had to come down more and more and more, to the point where if you're in the market for a 3000 card, it's not a bad time to get one. I mean, I would say they're reasonably priced, but for some people, it might be hard to want to get a 3000 cards knowing that the 40, 80, 16, and 12 gigabyte variants are right around the corner. Those are due out next month. So again, because of all those elements, I thought scalpers would be taking a gamble buying the 4000s, 4090s, because they could find themselves in a position where they'll be stuck holding the bag because, and it can still turn out that way. Artful, how's it going? Says, hope I'm doing well. I'm doing well, but I don't feel well. I took the day off just so I can get a 4090, and I sat in the parking lot and didn't get one. And so that's what I was about to get to. So the story I was about to get to is, I'm going to end up showing you guys something. So Nvidia, MSI, and Best Buy, at all three of their sites, I signed up to get a notification whenever a 4090 becomes available. And out of those three entities, MSI was the only one that sent me an email that they had cards in stock. So I set my alarm clock for 3:30 this morning Eastern time. I got up, and I would probably say about 15 minutes after I got up, I got two emails from MSI. One saying that the, I think it's the Trio Gaming Trio, and the Gaming Trio X. And I guess the Trio X is a 4090 that's factory overclocked. Both of them were available. So I went to MSI, and I actually put one in the shopping cart. But I didn't check out because I did not want to wait a few days for it to be shipped. So I didn't proceed to the checkout. I just left it sitting in the cart. So at about 5 a.m., at this point I've been up for about an hour and a half, I went to Best Buy. I got there and the parking lot was completely empty. So I'm like, yes, I should be able to get in there and get a card and walk out. I knew that the pre-orders, or at least that was the rumor, that the pre-orders for cards at Best Buy was going to go live at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. BST. And so at 9 a.m., I was Johnny on the spot. The first card that I clicked on, so I can go to the display and show you guys these cards. So hold on. Bring this up here. Whoops. So here are the cards. This one right here, the Nvidia Trio Gaming Trio. That was the first one that I clicked on. Excuse me. And you can see that it's sold out. Figured no big deal. I kept clicking and kept clicking. It was sold out. Now the RTX 4090 right here showed sold out right from the word go. At that point, wait a minute. Yeah, sold out. So after clicking on the MSI card a few times and kept seeing that sold out thing, now I'm starting to get to the point where, okay, I'll take anything. So the plan was to try to solidify a card online and then walk into a store and get one. And when I walk out of the store, cancel the online order. But I kept clicking and kept clicking and kept seeing sold out until this happened. This card right here, the Gigabyte 4090, 24 gigabytes, GDDR6, WindForce fans, whatever. Anyway, so I clicked on this card, and this is the second time that happened because I forgot to tell you guys. When I clicked on the MSI card, the first time I clicked on it, it said sold out. Second time I clicked on it, it said add to the cart. I clicked on it, and then I got a loading screen that says we're verifying your account and checking availability. This may take a few minutes. And so after a few seconds, I got a message. The message popped up, said sold out. And then again, I tried several times, couldn't get it until I got to this card. Excuse me, folks, I got popcorn stuck in my teeth. So I get to this card. I clicked on it, and it says add to cart. So I click on it, and it goes through the process again. We're verifying your account. This could take a few minutes. We're verifying your account and then checking inventory. This one appeared to go through. Well, I'm already signed into the fucking Best Buy site. Well, once this goes through, it wants me to sign in again. So I go to put in my password, and it says password invalid. What? I put in password again. Password invalid. So now I have to go through the process of resetting my password, and that whole process took 10 minutes. And wouldn't you know it, once I got the password reset and then got back to this, sold out. So sounds like someone had it in their cart and failed authorization, so it went back as a free unit. I don't think that was the case with Best Buy. I think the bots simply got to it. You could make that case about the MSI card, because that's the other thing I forgot to tell you guys about the MSI card at MSI.com, and I'll show you guys this in a second. So then, even though I didn't want it, now I'm thinking, okay, now I'm getting to the point where I'll take anything. And this card right here is $1,750. It has looks like it has a water cooler with it. Supreme Liquid X. I really didn't want this because my PC as it is already crammed full of stuff. And it already has a CPU liquid cooler in it. And I just don't know if I would have had the room to put this cooler in there. But it said add to cart. Clicked on it. Wait a few minutes. Sorry, this item is sold out. And then it seemed like every 15 minutes, this card was popping up. And like every 15 minutes, well, I kept clicking and kept clicking. I was clicking on everything, but it seemed like every 15 minutes, this one showed add to cart. And same shit, item is sold out. So I go back to MSI.com, and you guys see right here, it is still sitting in the cart right now. And what I forgot to tell you guys about this is at the MSI website when I got the email this morning. I actually put 2 cards in there accidentally, and I removed one of them. And again, I didn't proceed to checkout. I just left it there. And I kept checking on it and kept checking on it, and it was still there. It took about 45 minutes before I finally got a message that it's no longer there. So I click on it right here. You see this this pink bar. It says product GeForce 9 RTX 4090 Gaming Trio 24G are not available in the desired quantity or not in stock. So remove that. Click proceed to checkout. Get that same message again. So I'm hoping that one of these times I'll click it and it'll take me straight to the checkout. So now we get to the part where I'm pissed. Well, I'm not pissed yet, but getting straight to the nuts and bolts of it, 11 o'clock comes around, and I go into Best Buy, and they do not have any cards in store. This is where I'm pissed at Best Buy. I can't be mad at MSI because I had one in the cart. That's not to say that I would have got it, but I got far enough to get it into the cart and never proceeded with the checkout. Best Buy, yeah, I'm furious with them because they knew that when the cards go live for pre-orders, they knew that the bots and the scalpers were going to grab them all. From what I heard, Best Buy even fucked over their own customers. Let me show you guys this shit. Where's that Total Tech bullshit? In any case, Best Buy has a membership called Total Tech. For $200 a year, what this membership is supposed to do is give you first dibs at high demand products. And I saw a post on Reddit where a guy said that he's a Total Tech member and he never got a notification that pre-orders were live. And when he went to click on an order at 9 o'clock, they were all gone. So he's paying $200 and never got a notification from Best Buy. Some people talked about how PlayStation didn't care about its customers when the scalpers were buying up all the PS5s, and they felt like Sony was just going through the motions. Did you question them in store regarding the issues you had with the online order? No, I didn't have to, because one of the employees that worked there said he couldn't even get one. He said he tried to order one, and it as soon as he clicked proceed to check out, it was like sold out. What am I trying to buy? A 4090. Yeah, RTX 4090 is what I'm trying to buy. So about what I was saying about people being mad at Sony because the scalpers bought up all the PS5s. I don't care for Rich of Review Tech USA, but he did say something that makes sense. He said Sony does not want PS5 in the hands of scalpers. I'll explain why in a minute, Vegeta. And people felt like, if people attacked him, it was like, you know, he's just shilling or whatever. But he did say something that made sense. He said that the reason why Sony does not want the PS5s in the hands of scalpers is, while they're in the hands of scalpers, those consoles are just sitting there doing nothing. Whereas if they were in the hands of customers who actually game, those customers would be buying games, and Sony would be getting that money. So for every PlayStation that's in the hands of scalpers, that's one PlayStation that won't be getting software revenue because it's just sitting on a shelf somewhere. So, okay, good point. This situation here, you can say that Nvidia don't give a fuck where they get the money from as long as they get it. They don't care if they get it from scalpers or from us. Best Buy, especially Best Buy. As I was saying before, Best Buy knows goddamn well that as soon as those pre-orders went live, the first people that were going to grab them were the bots and the scalpers. If they really wanted regular customers to have those cards, in my opinion, they could have carried a few of those cards in store, because that's what they did before. When Nvidia and Best Buy and stuff like that was taking a lot of heat during the 3000 cards, they were taking a lot of heat from people. So what Best Buy did was make an announcement that they were going to be have some cards in store, and people can begin lining up for the cards at, you know, whatever time, 7 a.m., whatever the case may be. And that day I ended up getting a 3070. I had to go through some bullshit to get it, but at least I got one. Because I'm willing to bet a lot of those scalpers probably got regular jobs, and they were probably at work while the bots were buying up those cars for them. Whereas I had to take the day off and stay by the fucking site and keep hitting the refresh button, and still didn't get one. So, Vegeta, why do I want a 4090? You know, I've had several people try to say that you don't need one, whatever the case may be. This is one area where I'm on the same page with my friend Sick Humor, where he talked about people go talking that PC master race shit and how you don't need this and how you don't need that, and they got a damn 1060. Are you serious? You guys heard me say it on many of occasions. I've got 3 gaming PCs. That PC in there has a 3080 Ti. This computer that I'm sitting at right here has a 3070 Ti, and the computer in my bedroom has a 2070. Listen, Not even 3090 is running maximum on games. It depends on the game, Vegeta. Some of the older games, yeah, you can run them maxed. But some of the newer games, actually, like a lot of the newer games have not caught up. Even a lot of the newer games. Case in point. The Spider-Man game, for instance, on PC. I gave a 3070 and no misunderstanding. The car's not running at maximum. I can't speak for whether the cars are running at maximum, but what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the games that I've tested on my PC in there with that 3080 Ti, I was able to get 4K 60 at ultra settings on a lot of games. The high demanding games like Cyberpunk, I did benchmark that one. And at ultra settings, with ray tracing set to ultra, with DLSS on, I was able to get about 57 frames per second, but something to keep in mind was that I had OBS running, and OBS can tax up to 25% of your GPU. I have a 3070, and I'm speaking to fact on my PC. I can't speak for your PC, but I know with mine, the majority of the games that I've run, I'm saying you don't need 4090 because games haven't caught up to graphics. Hell, they still making PS4 games. And see, that's where people, like even my friend Fatal Charade said I don't need a 4090. I don't need a 4090 in most cases, but I want a 4090. The reason why I want a 4090 is because of SATA Corsa Competizione. The VR optimization for that game is awful. And it is clearly simple. With SATA Corsa Competizione, it is a cut and dry situation. The more horsepower your PC has, the better you can make it look and the better you can make it run. So I've actually recorded some benchmark video with the 3080. So what I was going to do was make a benchmark video, 3080 Ti versus 4090, which I'm still going to do. I've already recorded the footage for the 3080. I've already tested 4 games, 4 racing sims in VR. I've tested a SATA Corsa Competizione. I've tested F122. I've tested Project Cars 2, and I've tested Automobilista 2. All of those games I've tested in VR with in-game settings set to maximum, with a 25 car grid, and I had the resolution on the headset set at 2096p. Space Innocent, what's up? And out of those 3 games, and I also had the my Quest headset locked at 72 frames per second, so it was not going to go over 72 frames per second. Out of those 4 games that I tested with my 3080 Ti, a SATA Corsa Competizione was the most inconsistent. When the race started, it was running at 36 frames per second, but it still looked smooth. Once the race got going and then the cars started to thin out a little bit, then the frame rate started going up. But then when you would get to a chicane and all the cars would start bunching up, then the frame rate would come down and it would drop down to like 40 frames. And then Once all the cars get through the chicane and they start to thin out again, then the frame rate would come back up to 60, 65, 70. Kind of the same thing with project cars too. Starts out at 36 frames per second. Frame rate going up and down. Once everything got going, it kind of hovered around the 70 mark. How much is a 4090? They start at 1600, but Nvidia put a cap on it. And none of the AIBs can sell their cards for more than $2,000. But the scalpers have already gotten hold of them, and we'll go to eBay here in a second. So, Automobile Lister 2. Once that game got going, I seen one for 2,200 today. Nah, that's nothing. I seen them on eBay already for like 3,400. On scalpers. So with Automobile Lister 2, once the race got going, the frame went up to 72 frames and it stayed there. Not only did it stay there, also has some performance headroom to play with. Whereas like a SATA Corsa Competizione, the performance headroom is like in the negatives. Surprisingly, F122, same deal. Yeah, the frame rate started out up and down, but once the race got going, it went up to 72 frames and stayed there on Ultra. And so that being said, Automobile Lister 2 and even F122. No, I don't need a 4090. Project Cars 2? Man, if I was dead set on the settings that I had, I probably still wouldn't need a 4090, but a SATA Corsa Competizione is where I feel I needed the 4090. The way things are because the optimization on a SATA Corsa Competizione is so bad, I have to really manipulate it. Now, I do have the headset cranked all the way up to 2736p, but the in-game settings, I had to really play with the in-game settings. Ham sent me his settings, and like, as far as visible cars goes, 15 cars are visible. Shadows are turned off. Some of the blighting and the bloom is turned off. All that shit. So I can maintain a good frame rate, a good solid frame rate. So with those settings, I can maintain 72 frames. But if I go to 2736p and VR Epic settings, and I've got OBS open, basically the frame rate hovers at around 35 to 40 frames per second for a SATA Corsa Competizione. So I have to make some concessions. I have to make some compromises and play with the settings on ACC in order to get a good frame rate. So a 4090 would have been able to get me, should have been able, in theory, to allow me to maintain 72 frames per second and allow me to turn the graphics up to VR Epic and still run the headset at 2736p. So what I'm working with now is my PC is powerful. A 3080 Ti with an i9 12900K in there. Again, if I manipulate some settings, manipulate the resolution of my headset, manipulate the in-game settings of ACC, I can find that balance to where the visuals are okay and I'm still getting a good frame rate. But a 4090 would allow me to crank up everything across the board. And that's the biggest reason why I wanted a 4090 was for ACC. Just about every other game in my library, the 3080 Ti runs it all at high or ultra settings. So let me back up on a couple of these comments because I didn't respond to a couple of them because I didn't want to lose my place in what I was trying to say. So you were saying that, yeah, okay, now you understand why I wanted a 4090 Spaced Innocent. I said, what's up? If we didn't give Bitcoin mining, you would have had more chance to find this card. Well, that was the thing about it. You know, mining is pretty much dead from what I'm understanding. That it doesn't even make sense to mine now because you'll lose money from it. So with the miners gone, the scalpers were the only thing that we had to worry about. And the scalpers, in my opinion, they're taking a chance by buying that card because we still got a flood of 3,000 cards on eBay all over the place. Nvidia still has a stock of 3,000 cards that they're trying to get rid of. So, and this is where you guys saying that the 40 that I don't need a 4090 comes into play. There's a lot of people that like if I didn't do VR, you would be 100% right that I don't need a 4090. But I do VR. And some games are super demanding in VR. Like Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's already a highly demanding game as it is. It's even more demanding in VR. Then the other thing to keep in mind why I wanted the 4090 is some of these AAA games that's gotten VR mods, like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk has a VR mod that is very demanding. The mod makes the game so demanding because it's almost like it's running the game twice, one flat screen and one in VR. That mod is so demanding that even with 3090s, people still had to turn the settings down to low in order for it to run good. I tried the Resident Evil 7 and the Resident Evil Village mods. Those ran okay. Those ran good. But again, I had to like turn the settings down to like medium so it would stay running good. So, Vegeta, you said to put in context, the card he wants to buy, you can buy a PS5, an Xbox Series X, and a Switch. Actually, you can buy a PS5, an Xbox Series X, and a Switch, and still have anywhere from $300 to $700 left over. So yeah, only one of those for VR though, Spaced Innocent. And you said that's the thing. He built this around VR, so yeah, 4090 will fix a lot of VR. No other reason to buy a 40 anything, and you would be right. Let's see here. Viet Dragon 3090, already a lot of VR 4090 just run faster. Excuse me. Said, but ACC not optimized properly. Hope the card works well with that game. So, C Slim, what's good? Marco Massaruto, the CEO over at Kunos, in an interview with Traction GG, he said that ACC was built on Unreal 4. And the reason why they went with the Unreal 4 engine is because I guess the guy Stefano, I guess he wrote most of the code for the game by himself. And he requested a commercial engine so they could get the game built faster, and they went with Unreal. Well, according to Marco Massaruto, he said that the Unreal is a generic engine that lacked features and horrible VR optimization, and that's why you got what you got with the VR. Not only is the VR optimization horrible, the DLSS is terrible too. DLSS and VR is dog shit. That is another reason why I wanted the 4090, because I wanted it for its raw rasterization. I do not want it for DLSS, at least not in VR. Flat screen games, DLSS is great because for the most part, I had a hard time telling the difference. But in VR, DLSS, like on No Man's Sky and on the SATA Corsa Competizione, the DLSS looked like dog shit. So yeah, I wanted the 4090 for its raw rasterization. I wanted the raw power upgrade and not this DLSS 3 trickery. Yeah, 4090 might actually be future-proof for VR for a little while, yeah? And via Dragon, I play VR. I run an AK already on the RTX 3090. See, I'm not that far away from you with a 3080 Ti. You know, I'm only a few frames less than you. Space Dennison, oh man, I want a VR Cyberpunk on a 4090. And yeah, see, a 4090 would have put me in a position where I probably could have cranked the VR settings maybe up to medium. Said VR Cyberpunk sounds cool. Yeah, like right now, as far as AAA games goes, like because of the Oculus Quest, Support Gaming, what's up? Because of the Oculus Quest, a lot of developers had shifted gears and started developing games for the Quest. And the modders were the only thing keeping PC VR alive, because PC VR was damn near dead. Because basically, once Oculus put out their last one, Lone Echo 2, once they put that out, they were done making PC VR games, and they were just focusing on the Quest, because they're trying to use Quest as a gateway to drag people into augmented reality and trying to eventually get them to buy some of these silly ass glasses somewhere down the line. So Oculus, in my opinion, isn't really committed to VR as a mainstay. They're basically using VR as a gateway to pull people into augmented reality and to pull them into the metaverse. So in my opinion, they are not committed to pure VR in this form right now. And so because of that, we don't really have a lot of PC VR games. And so because of that, we've been having to rely on people like Luke Ross and Prey Dog and Dr. Beef to give us VR mods on AAA games. So they're the ones that's been keeping PC VR alive. And these mods are demanding. So that would be another area where I would need a 4090. Via Dragon, I use HTC Prime Max. Vegeta, Oculus has so many versions I can't focus on them. That is why I think the deal never went through between Oculus and Microsoft when they were supposed to bring high fidelity VR to the Xbox One X when it first launched. I think Microsoft scrapped VR on the Xbox because they were partnered with Oculus. So my guess is it was probably going to be an Oculus headset that you were going to use on the Xbox One X. But Oculus seems like they come out with a new headset every 18 months, every 2 years or something like that. On the Xbox side, you're going to piss a lot of people off if you tell them they have to use the Oculus Rift CV1. And then they got to upgrade to the Oculus Rift S. And then they have to upgrade to the Oculus Quest as a PC VR headset, or as an Xbox headset. Then you have to upgrade to the Quest 2. And now we got the Quest Pro. I think I bought my Oculus Rift CV1. So we're in 2022. I think I bought my Oculus Rift CV1, I think either in 2017 or 2018. Since then, since 2018, Oculus has had the Oculus Rift CV1, the Oculus Rift S, the Oculus Quest, the Oculus Quest 2, and now the Oculus Quest Pro. So we've got 5 headsets in like the last 4 years. You are going to piss off a lot of people on the Xbox if you tell them they have to get the newest headset every year or every 18 months or every 2 years. VR ultimately would have failed on the Xbox if they would have went with Oculus as the headset provider. And I think that's why the deal didn't go through, because Microsoft, in my opinion, other than the Xbox, in making a shitload of controllers, I think Microsoft is kind of done taking chances outside of the box with hardware. You know, like they did with I forgot the name of that. I forgot the name of that MP3 player that Microsoft used to make. That was supposed to be a competitor to the iPad. I forgot. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Rune or some shit like that. I can't remember. We had Connect. That flopped. So in that aspect, I think Microsoft is done taking chances on hardware in that aspect. So Microsoft was not going to make their own VR headset other than this bullshit that they're feeding to the military, which is $3,000. The Xbox would have never been able to run it, and you wouldn't be able to get people to pay $3,000 for it on an Xbox when you got VR games with Roblox type graphics. Let's see here. Controllers and Game Pass is their main source now. Yeah, I definitely remember Kinect via Dragon Xbox 60 Kinect. Yeah, I had one of them. I thought the Kinect was going to be the future of gaming because I thought it was amazing because it was interactive. Now, I don't think Microsoft was creative when they came out with the Kinect because I think the Kinect was inspired by the Wii. And I think they were trying to take it to the next level, which they did. To me, it was more interactive than the Wii because you didn't need controllers to play it, and the games looked better. But it definitely flopped on the Xbox One. So, yeah, I went off the tracks, though. So that's why we don't have VR on the Xbox, but VR games as long as normal games is what we need. So support. Microsoft dropped VR. They couldn't figure out how to get 20 AA batteries in the headset. Vegeta, you say you get me. Like I don't want 5-hour VR games. I can understand that. Nah. The only time I come close to having a VR headset on my head for that long is whenever whenever I get together with Ham and the boys, and we would do our ACC Fridays, and sometimes we would end up 4 or 5 hours sim racing. So yeah, I've definitely had some streams that lasted 4 hours. So you know what? I guess so. Let's take a moment to go to eBay. And type in the 4090 RTX 4090. Let's have a look. All right. $2,500 the best offer. $2,500 buy it now. $2,450, $2,600. I will say that this go round it looks to me like the scalpers somewhat know better. The scalpers know that Nvidia put a cap on these 4090s, that none of the AIBs can sell their cards for over $2,000. So with some of these cards, it looks to me like the scalpers are not trying to ask too much over $2,000, and some of them lost their fucking mind though. So we got this Gigabyte right here. Current bid is $1,974. So this person looks like make pickup changes, ship it instead. Oh, so this person is so this scalper is actually going to go pick theirs up, preparing for pickup on Monday. So that's the proof. Even if I was willing to give in to a scalper, I couldn't do it. Not knowing that they don't physically have the card in their hand yet. Now look at this here, $4,500. What I am seeing is that, okay, you know what? Let's look at something else. Let's start from the top. This was $2,500 or best offer. Well, that's a sponsored one. Here's another one, MSI Supreme Liquid. So yeah, this is one that I actually got it in the cart a couple of times. So okay, so this card, for example, buy it now for $2,500. Well, looks like he doesn't got any bids for it. He just straight up wants $2,500. This card is $2,450 or best offer. In hand, ready to ship today. Then that means you got pictures to show. If he's got it in cart, if he's got it in hand, ready to ship today, then that means he's got real pictures that he can post. I see that as a scam. Let's come back to the chat real quick. What's good? He said I'm torturing myself on eBay. So I wonder if that's the box of the card being sold. Yeah, Ham, I'm torturing myself on eBay. Sorry I didn't get back with you, Ham. I figured that once I go live, you would come in here and we'd talk then. So let me pull up this stream on my phone so I can keep an eye on the chat that way. Myself on eBay. Sorry I didn't get back with you, Ham. All right, there we go. I see all of it as a scam. Well, there's a couple of them who look like they might actually have the card. But what I was trying to say is that this is actually, some of this looks promising. The reason why I say this is this card here is $2,450 or best offer. No bids. $2,600 or best offer. No bids. $2,199. Buy it now. No bids. Let's see if he takes bids. Let's see if it says make a bid. Nope, that's a buy it now. So that he's dead set on the price. Let's see here. This one. Buy it now for $2,899. 0 bids. He's taking bids on it. Place bids. 0 bids. So he might end up being stuck holding the bag with that card. So I guess he's trying to prove that he actually bought the card. Totals for shipment. And he bought it off a Newegg. Yeah, but only 3 people watched it. Only 3 people watched that. And he's got 6 days left on his auction. He's not going to get many bids between now and then. Maybe a couple of people might start fighting it out when he's down to like his last couple of hours in the auction. This one claims last one. 4 watchers. Same deal. Buy it now. Said try Stock Informer. As much as I'm mad, as much as I'm pissed off about it, it's not the end of the world because I still got a powerful PC. I know that I'll eventually get one. And then here's the thing about it is, in my opinion, the scalpers are racing against the clock. That's why I'm showing you guys all these listings and seeing that a lot of these cards do not have bids on it. They have a buy it now or best offer on it. Here's another one, $24.99 or best offer. And this person, in my opinion, has done nothing to prove that he actually has the card. Let's look up. Let's see the seller information. Let's see how long he's been on eBay. 454 items sold. 100% positive feedback. It doesn't show how long he's been on eBay. It just, I don't know, maybe eBay changed the format because they used to show how long a person's been on eBay so you can feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that this person has been on eBay for a while. But in any case, 100% for feedback, 454 items sold, 38 followers. Here we've got a 4090 Founders Edition. This is a buy it now, no bids. 6 people have watched it in the last 24 hours. So if somebody wanted that bad enough, they would have pulled the trigger on it. So I think what they're going to do is go ahead and starve him out and wait for him to lower his price. Now, to use this guy as an example, especially since he's not taking any bids, is, in my opinion, let's say Nvidia released a wave of cards every 2 weeks, because just like these scalpers are on the clock, Nvidia's on the clock because AMD, their stuff is still coming. And then not only that, Nvidia is supposed to be releasing is supposed to be launching the 4080s, 12 and 16 gig variants next month. So once those 4080s hit, a lot of people may not be interested in getting the 4090s. They might want that 4080 16 gig. That being said, because with the 3000 cards, everybody wanted the 3080 because that was going to give you the most bang for the buck. That was going to be the best performing card at a reasonable price at $800. I think once the 3080s was out there, in my opinion, when Nvidia introduced the 3090 Ti, it was DOA. I think it was dead on arrival. Who were you going to sell it to? The 3080 people weren't interested in upgrading. For me, as far as I'm concerned, if you already had a 3080 Ti or a 3090, it didn't make any sense upgrading. You're going to spend like an extra $400 or $500 only to get an extra 1 or 2 frames. It didn't make sense. So in my opinion, both the scalpers and Nvidia are on the clock. In my opinion, I think the scalpers already dived into a bad situation by buying these cards knowing that there's a ton of 3080s out there. Let's look at some more. Here's another one. $24.99 the best offer. $28.87 buy it now. Let's see here. This one ships from Canada, $23.46 or best offer. It doesn't show whether anybody or not has viewed this. No, nobody's looked at it. So he might end up, okay, one person looked at this since it's been posted. So he might end up being stuck with the bag. Here's a GeForce 4090 Founders Edition. $3,000 of best offer and $108 to ship it from Canada. Let's see how many watchers he's gotten. 3 people watched that. Here's a buy it now for $2,600. This is sponsored. Eight people watched this one. So $171 items sold. Okay, there it is. He's been a member since 2011. He's sold 171 items. He's got 100% feedback. So in all likelihood, the the gigabyte that he's selling is possibly real. You said what happened at, oh, sorry, I missed a few comments. Ham, you said very low supply in the UK today. Of course, 3 main suppliers. I estimate about 150 cards each, so 450 cards total on launch day in the UK. New card always overpriced. Via Dragon, those people scam. And Ham, you said, so what happened at Best Buy? I missed the start of the stream. Simply put, at 11 o'clock, I walked into the store and they did not have any in store. So I'm kind of like, I'm really kicking myself because I'm wondering at MSI.com if I would have followed through with going to the checkout, I might possibly have a card. Because I showed people this earlier right here. This is at MSI.com. This is my cart right here. It says your cart. It is still showing the card in the cart, but it's showing a message that it's not available. So I get rid of that. Click, proceed to checkout. It says your shopping cart is empty. You got to log in again. So there it is again. So yeah. So yeah, that's at MSI.com. It's still showing it in the cart. And even though it says it's not available, I'm still going to leave it in the cart because I'm going to keep clicking and clicking and clicking until the shit finally gets through. Now, coming back to eBay. We have an Asus Tough Gaming 4090 for $2,800, the best offer. How many people have is looking at that? Nope, nobody looked at it. Let's have a look at the seller. Wait a minute. I think we just had a look at this. 0 followers. Let's see here. This might be. Oh, this is JP Capone too. He's got a couple of He's been a member since 2017. He might have a couple of accounts. Do you think Nvidia is holding 4090 stock back to increase demand? They could be doing that, but it's like I said, they're racing against the clock and they're taking a big gamble doing that shit because AMD is right around the corner. And a lot of the big name YouTubers and so-called experts have been advising people not to run out and get the 4090 on launch, to sit back and wait and see what happens with AMD. So they're taking, in my opinion, Nvidia would be taking a huge risk trying to play that, trying to artificially create a short supply and high demand. And let's say, people are speculating what the AMD cards are going to cost. I don't know exactly what cards they're supposed to be coming out with, and I don't know exactly what they're supposed to be able to do. But I guess I kind of heard that they're supposed to have a card that's supposed to be able to compete with the 4090. What if they have a card that competes with the 4090 and they price it at like $1,300? Now Nvidia's got to move. Now what's going to happen is Nvidia's going to have to find, they might have to find some way to get people to buy the 4090s if AMD were to do something like that. And then not only that, to cover their asses, the scalpers would have to buy the AMD cards. Because if they don't buy up the AMD cards, the customers will, and they will be stuck holding the bag with the 4090s that they already bought. So I feel like this scalping shit at this moment, if they're going to go in, they got to go all the way in. I don't think they can just buy one card and just sit on it. And then, you know, I kind of think the scalpers, in my opinion, are in a position where if they want to keep, if they want to maintain a grasp on the secondhand market, they almost have to buy everything that comes out. They're going to have to buy the AMD cards when they come out. They're going to have to buy the 4080s when they come out. So I'm under the impression that, like, according to like Moore's Law and some of these other people, what they were saying is, it sounds to me like Nvidia was going to try to sell as many 4090s as possible, knowing that the AMD cards were around the corner. Now, I guess as far as the 4080 goes, they were only going to release so many of them, and they were going to reduce sell-in, as to what they call it, you know, selling to AIBs, in order to try to get rid of what they have left of the 3000 cards. AMD will be 500. I don't know what their price will be, but all I can say is, like, to me, I almost don't think it doesn't matter what their price is. I just feel like if they release a shitload of cards, they could put the scalpers behind the 8-ball. You might, if AMD releases a shit ton of cards, and Nvidia for that matter, because if Nvidia is trying to get rid of as many cards as they can before the AMD cards come out, and then AMD is trying to release a shitload of cards to compete against Nvidia, the scalpers are going to be caught in the crossfire. The scalpers are going to end up having to buy both cards if they want to maintain their hold of the secondhand market. So what happens if, as a whole, as a collective, what happens if the scalpers buy up all the Nvidia cards, but they don't buy up any of the AMD cards? Well, as customers, naturally, we're going to say that why should I go to a scalper when I can walk into Best Buy and buy a 7950 XT right off the shelf? So my whole things that I'm trying to say is now that the scalpers went ahead and dove into this shit, they got to go all the way in. They basically got to buy damn near everything that comes out. They got to buy the AMD cards. They got to buy the 4080s when they come out. And for the people that already got 3080 Ti's, 3090s, and 3090 Ti's, they're probably going to stand firm and not buy any of the 4090s from the scalpers. Because anybody, in my opinion, who has a 3080 Ti, 3090, 3090 Ti, for the most part, you guys would probably be right that they probably don't need the card. They want the card. Therefore, they're in a position, in my opinion, anybody who's got a 3080 Ti, 3090, or 3090 Ti is in a position of power because they've got a card that is more than sufficient until they can finally get a hold of a 4090 at retail. Let's have a look at a couple of more cards. $31.99 or best offer. Let's see if anybody's been watching this. 6 people watch this? Maybe it's that particular brand that they want. Because there's a lot more cards out there for less. Okay, my phone's about to die here in a second. $3K, yeah. Buy it now. This card right here, I think this seller has a good chance to move this card, because he is taking bids. Right now, there's 3 bids on the card, and the highest one is $1949 gigabyte. So let's go back to Best Buy and see how much this card retails for. So I think this is the card that he's selling. Retails for $1,700. So let me go back and look at that, see which one he's selling. Okay, there's the gigabyte one, and then there's a gigabyte with the RGBs around the fan. So yeah, he's got the one with the lights around the fan. Yep. So that card retails for $1,700. Right now, the high bid is $1949. I can be honest and say that two things would stop me from putting in a bid. One is I know I'll get outbid. The other thing is that all this person probably did is secure the order. He probably doesn't have it in hand yet. Let's get some seller information on him. 45 items sold. He's been a member since 2010. So, okay. Here's another one, best offer, $2,500 of best offer for the same card. Now this one right here lost his fucking mind. $4,500, buy it now. 12 watchers? 12 people watching this shit? Are you serious? What in the fuck? Oh, I get it. Shit. That fan is humongous on that shit. The card itself is not that big. Damn. Ham says, join one of those stock checker discords. There are probably a few YouTube channels crawling online US sites too. I can do that. But again, I think these scalpers are racing against the clock. You know what? We're going to come back to this in a couple of weeks, because I think that since there's not many retailers in the UK, it's easy. Just manually refresh the pages. If you use 4090, you need a bigger case. My case will fit the 4090 will fit my case. That's another reason why these so-called experts had speculated that it wouldn't be hard to get a 4090, because they were talking about a lot of people were going to need a bigger case. But see right there, that's bullshit. in my opinion, because anybody that's got a 3090 or a 3090 Ti, that's already a big ass card to begin with. And the 4090, for the most part, is the same size or only slightly bigger than it. So if they got a case that's big enough to hold the 3090 or the 3090 Ti, it should hold the 4090 as well. Let's see who else. So, all right, here's another person taking bids at $19.25. He's saying that it ships October 18th. It's got 4 bids on it so far. And so in order for me to make a bid, I would have to bid at least $19.50 on this. Let's get some seller information. 12 items sold. He's been a member since 2009. Feedback. Let's see if he's got some negatives. Quick response, fast payment. Good buyer, prompt payment, value customer, highly recommended. Great buyer, quick payment. Thank you for your purchase. Come back again soon. So this guy he's sold stuff on eBay too, whoever this guy is. Last one, buy it now. What do you mean last one? It's probably your only one. $27.50 best offer. This one right here, woof. I'm a little surprised by this one. It's already got 12 bids. $21.50 is where we're sitting at. Wait a minute. Oh shit, that's why he's got bids. He's got it in hand. Support gaming. CCL has stock in UK, 24 gigabyte 2K. Problem is, I don't live in the UK. Not only that, according from what Ham was kind of telling me, the currency exchange might put you guys in a position where you might get your cheeks split open. Oh, okay. So that's what it is. He's got a brand new one that he hasn't opened yet. That's why he's got 12 bids on it, because he actually has the card in hand. So people don't got to wait for him. They don't have to wait for his order to ship, and then he turns and has to turn it around and send it to wherever it's got to go. He's got the card in hand, so he can send it straight out. But there's 6 days left on this auction, so yeah, he's gonna come out on top. The bid will go up on the last day. Holden Dan Socks, as a former Best Buy employee, I hope they weren't at fault. My big gripe, my whole purpose of even doing this stream, Dan Socks, is because I think that's a fuck move on Best Buy's part. I think they showed just how much they care about their customers. I think that Best Buy knew that the minute those pre-orders go live, that the bots and the scalpers were going to grab them all. What's even more fucked up is for the people that have that Total Tech membership, where they're paying $200 a year to get first dibs on the card. And I saw a post on Reddit where a guy said that he has one of those memberships and never got a notification from Best Buy. And when he went to go try to pre-order one when the pre-orders went live, they were all sold out. So just for the hell of it, let me refresh the page. Sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. So yeah, that's my big gripe, is that they knew. I think if they really cared about the cards getting into the hands of actual people that actually want to play games with these cards, they would have had a few of them in store for people to just walk in and buy one. Even if they only would have had 5 cards. That's the part that got me burned up. You know goddamn well the scalpers and the bots are going to buy up all those cards. Put a few of them to the side and let a couple of let 3, 4, 5 people come in and grab one off the shelf. So Best Buy staff saying sold out, driving home with them at the end of the day. Hey, motherfuckers. So that's what's got me burned up about this whole shit. And I'm kicking myself in the ass because I probably could have got one from MSI. And I'll show you guys this again. This is my cart right here. It's still showing this MSI 4090 in the cart. But I got that message saying that it's not available. So when I first put this thing in the cart, it sat in that cart for 45 minutes before this message finally showed up. That leads me to believe that I actually had a chance to get one, but I didn't want to wait for it to be shipped. I thought I would be able to just walk into Best Buy and just grab one. True story on God. Managers brought me in about a stolen Big Pun CD. Bro had a big Pun CD. They sat me down and claimed I stole it. Like I like rap, but I ain't stealing a Big Pun CD. Yeah. So I'll be ready to wrap this up shortly. I'm gonna lick my wounds. I'm pissed off, but it'd be one thing if I was still using, the 2070. I mean, but I got 3 gaming PCs, so at this moment, I'm not even sure what that PC can do with Microsoft Flight Simulator in VR, because if I ever get back around to downloading Microsoft Flight Simulator on that PC and I run it in VR, I would run it with the PC outputting at 1080p. And I would probably run it with the headset outputting at around 1800p in order to save some of the resources. Because the last time I streamed Flight Simulator was on a 2070, and it didn't look that bad. All that being said, the only reason why I feel like I would need this 4090 is it would allow me to have consistent performance across the board on a set of Corsair Competizione. Because the other games that I ran benchmarks on, it was able to maintain 72 frames per second. Holy shit. So Ham, if you're still listening, I recorded footage for ACC, Automobilista 2, Project Cars 2, and F122. I ran them all at max settings with a 25 car grid, and I had the headset outputting at 2096p. ACC was the most inconsistent out of all of them. All the other ones, like Project Cars 2, started out with the frame rate going up and down, but once the cars started to thin out, it got closer to 72 frames and stayed close to it. Automobilista 2, once everything thinned out, it got to 72 frames and it did not budge. Even F122, I turned it up to max settings. I turned it up to ultra settings. And same deal. Once the race got going, I was getting a frame rate that was close to 72 frames per second, and it was staying there. That being said, with Automobilista 2, Project Cars 2, and F122, if I'm willing to keep the headset at 2096p, I can still run the game. I can still run those games at max setting and still get a decent performance. So for those 3 games, I would not need a 4090. ACC was all over the place. It started out at 36 frames per second on VR Epic settings. Once the race got going, the frame rate was going up and down. It never stayed consistent, whereas the other ones either got to 72 and stayed there or somewhere close to it and just fluctuated just a little. So again, ACC is the only reason why I want the 4090. It's the only reason why I feel like I would need the 4090. Everything else, my PC is powerful enough to run them at high settings, if not ultra. So even though I'm pissed at how Best Buy handled this situation, I gotta try to tell myself not to be mad because, again, I think the scalpers, and I think Nvidia for that matter, are on the clock because AMD is right around the corner. Let's see here, Ham. You said, I'm sure you'll get your hands on a 4090 soon enough. In the meantime, get benchmarking your favorite games ready for comparison. Yeah, I've already done that. So what I'm going to do is because I use the Oculus debug tool, and I've already recorded the footage for the 4 games that I was saying. And then once I get the 4090, I'm going to run the benchmarks on those same 4 games and then make a video with a split screen showing the 3090 versus the 3080 Ti. So yeah. So I meant to tell you that yesterday because I recorded the footage Monday. I recorded the footage a couple of days ago. 36 hertz. Yeah, that's ASW kicking in for sure. For the others, you'll be able to go up to 90 hertz, hopefully. Oh yeah, with the without a doubt. So I think like with like Automobilista 2, I think I could take the settings down to high and leave it there because I really didn't see much difference between high and ultra. And all this footage that I recorded, I did it with OBS open. And as I was saying before, OBS taxes your GPU by up to 25%. So the results that I got would have actually been a little bit better if I was not using OBS. And that is another reason why I want the 4090 to offset what OBS uses up. So I think the 4090 would have been the last GPU I would have needed. It wouldn't be the end all be all, but what I'm saying is that at my age, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be gaming. I'm 55 years old. I mean, I'll game until the day I die, but let's say, at 68 years old, how good would I be at ACC at 68 years old? I wouldn't have any reflexes. I'd smash straight into the wall. So with that, I think I'll get ready to get on out of here. Oh, he's saying it ships today. Let's see, does he have it? Oh, he sold it. He sold it. It ended. Let's see what the description says. A brand new, unused, unopened, undamaged item in its original packaging where packaging is applicable. Packaging should be the same as what is found in a retail store unless the item is handmade or was packaged by the manufacturer in non-retail packaging, such as an unprinted box or plastic bag. See the seller's listing for full details. Yeah, he sold it. Here's another one. Paper Street Traders. Paper Street. So yeah, this guy's proven that he actually has it in hand. Same deal. He has a, oh shit. Just a minute. He's got one available and he's already sold one in the last 24 hours. So let's go back. Holy shit. So this bastard actually got away. You said at 68 VR fishing, baby. Yeah, this bastard actually got away with selling one. Come on, you guys, you can't do this. You can't give into the scalpers. Ah. Let's see here. What else we got? 2100, a best offer. Last one, 10 watchers. Damn, he sold 3 of them. He sold 3 of them in the last 24 hours. Holy shit. All right, let's get some information on this guy. He's been a member since 2012. 98 items sold. Feedback, 16 positive. Well, it looks like he's legit. But he's got 10 people watching, and since he wants 2100 or best offer, my guess is that he's probably not going to take anything less than $2,000. Anybody makes him an offer of like 1800, he's going to reject it. You said, that scalping motherfucker said, I bet he was there at Best Buy before me. He probably was. Oh my God, now what is he thinking about? Starting bid is $2,800. You can buy it now for $4,000. Oh my God. 5 watching this? You serious? Huh. Buy it now for $2,200. I hate to admit it, but I think the guys that have a buy it now price of $2,200, and his says free shipping on top of that. He might actually sell that one. Let me go back and check that again and see how many people are watching. Oh, hell no. You see this shit? He ordered this shit. Hold on. He ordered this shit October 11th, 2022. And it's not expected to arrive until November 18th. No wonder nobody looking at that shit. Rodney Wheeler, wouldn't using the PCPR headset help with the OBS situation instead of using a Quest 2? I kind of don't get what you mean by that. Because as far as OBS goes, I had to use OBS to record footage for the benchmark video that I'm going to put out once I get a 4090. When I stream or even when I record, I use a 2 PC setup using OBS with the NDI plugin. OBS is GPU hungry. Just simply opening OBS can take up to 25% of your GPU. And so, again, a 4090 would have given me enough resources to offset what OBS would take and still allow me to run the headset maxed out and max out the game settings. I think he means there's a slight overhead with Oculus Link. Also, bump my monitor resolution to 480 and turn off G-Sync. Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem I got with the headsets. The headsets that I have here, I have a Quest 2 and I have a Rift S. For whatever reason, the Rift S does not want to work on that PC in there. The Rift S works on my other 2 PCs. It works on this one that I'm sitting at right here, and it works on my PC in the bedroom. But for whatever reason, the Rift S does not want to work on my most powerful PC. But I know the biggest reason why it's not acting right. The Rift S has a shitty cord. It's a manufacturing defect from Oculus. I've gone through about 3 of those cords. The cord is just dog shit. And so something about my PC just isn't like in that PC in there. Something about it just isn't like in the Rift S. And I get what you mean about the Rift S taxing your PC a little bit more than a native PC headset. That's another reason why I wanted the 4090, because if I was content with sticking with just the Rift S, I wouldn't need a 4090. I have no interest in using the Reverb G2. I hear it taxes your PC, and I understand anything outside of the sweet spot is blurry. So that's a double whammy right there for a headset that I hear taxes your PC, and the peripherals are blurry. A Valve Index is still too expensive, and I still think a Valve Index is too expensive. But it is a native PC headset. But just for curiosity's sake, let's see what people are selling them for, because I give my son an allowance. He saved up enough money and I helped him. He bought the light bases, and he bought the Knuckles controller, and then he bought an HTC Vive. I didn't like it because the Vive is an old headset and it's still blurry. So I went on eBay and found a Valve Index headset, headset by itself for $300. You can't beat that with a hammer, because it's still, the headset brand new at Valve is still $500, and they don't have many of them. You said you commented during my stream. Where you at? My son just messaged me. He said he commented during my stream. Where you at, buddy? So give me a second, folks. I'm going to come back. My son said he commented. Let's go back to eBay. I commented during your stream. What name are you under, buddy? Oh, there it is. I see you. Hey, Dad, I'm watching from school. We got free time. All right, buddy. Thanks for commenting. I see you now. I had to backtrack. Missed a lot. Pico Neolink might be a good alternative. I think it would be, but I think Gamertag, as well as a couple of other people, said there was some artifacting with the DisplayPort cable. Shame the Pico Neo 4 doesn't have the DisplayPort like the 3. Yeah, he commented about 20 minutes back. That's the only thing that stopped me from pulling the trigger on the Pico Neo 3, is hearing that there was artifacting with the Pico Link, whatever you want to call it. If it wasn't for that, I would have bought one already. And I would have put my Quest 2 in the closet and been done with it. So, you said that was months ago. They worked out the kinks on MRT, worked the kinks out. Watch MRTV. I'm sub to them, but I don't watch them that much. Even though I'm sub to him, it seems like he kind of has his favorites, because he did a lot of coverage on Pimax for a while. Looks like these. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh. Maybe I'll put on. Maybe I'll put in a bid on this Valve Index headset and piece together my own setup. There's already 12 bids on it. There's 4 days left on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to the watch list. And right before, a couple of hours before the auction is left, I'll check back on it. Rodney, you said they fixed the artifacts. Watch MRTV. He just did a hands-on review. Very true. He is a sponsored lackey. See, he's done like, okay, I'm glad you said it, Rodney. That's what I was trying to say. He's covered the Pico so much and the Pimax so much that I almost feel like he was paid by them. And so when, it's like 5 days in a row Pimax shit, 5 days in a row Pico shit. And so it seemed to me like Gamertag was the only one who outright said that the headset had artifacting. I think when it comes to these games, I'm not gonna lie. When Gamertag became an Oculus ambassador, I was wondering if him, along with everybody else who was an Oculus ambassador, if they would hold back on some of their opinions. But from what I'm seeing, being an Oculus ambassador didn't hold Gamertag back. If he didn't care for something, he'd say it. Yeah, I already added that to my watch list. You know what? Let's add this page to my favorites, just in case it didn't get saved to the watch list. Let's see here. Yep, it didn't get saved to the watch list. So I saved the page. Wait a minute. Let's see if this comes with the connection cable. Plus Kiwi cooler adapter. Okay. Cold Yogurt, what's up? Save for Pimax. Crystal is wireless and wired. Ham, you said, we're checking out. If Pico Neo 3 initial bugs might be a good option. I'm holding out for a Pico Neo 4 Link version if they make one. Yeah, but because, you know what? Let's check. Let's check here. Since we're here, let's check it. Because I don't think the Pico is available in America yet. $380. Free shipping from Japan. All these are from Japan. Meta playing games. If they made Quest 2 PC native like the Vive Focus 3, it would be the best all around. Exactly. And now all this is piecing together why I want the 4090. I think the compression technique on the Quest 2 makes it a little bit harder on your PC than a native VR headset. My son, I gave him the 3070 that I bought. Because I think over the last 3 years, I've gone through several graphics cards, 2070, a 3070, 3070 Ti here, 3080 Ti there. I gave my son my 3070 when I upgraded to the 3080 Ti. He has a Valve Index, and his PC runs like butter. That Valve Index doesn't even scratch his headset. All his games run beautifully. The Quest 2, on the other hand, again, I think because of the compression technique, it taxes your PC a little bit more. So we got the little bit of a heavy load that the Quest can put on your PC, along with a set of Corsair Competizione being horribly optimized for VR. That is why I want the 4090. If a set of Corsair Competizione was optimized like Automobilista 2, I wouldn't need a 4090. If my Rift S ran correctly and I was okay with gaming in 1440p with a little bit of screen door effect, I wouldn't need a 4090. To some degree, I still don't need it because I can still use my Rift S on this PC here, which has a 3070 Ti. The problem is my rig is in there. So one of two things would have to happen. I would either have to take this PC in there or bring the rig in here, which I don't want to do either. Basically, and plus this computer right here, this is my son's PC away from home, more or less. My son loves using this PC that I'm sitting at right here because it's right here at the computer desk, which is really convenient for him. And then he's got this little bit of play space right here behind me. So he absolutely loves this PC that I'm sitting at right here. The one in the bedroom, yeah, I play a few games on it on the Rift S, but it's mainly for streaming. And then my PC in there, that's my heavyweight. That's my heavyweight PC, and that's where I do my sim racing at. Now, back to this Pico Neo. Jemiah. I gave up on getting cards day one. Bruh. All these Picos are shipping from Japan. Here's one shipping from China. eBay. Hold on, wait a minute. Thought I saw their official site. Get rid of that, accept, yeah. Pico Neo 3. See here, products. Pico Neo 3 link. Pico Neo Yeah, but don't where can I get it at? Product, software, support. Huh. I'll have to come back to them another time, but I don't know if I can get my hands on one at a reasonable price. $361. Read more. Please check photos, including all you can see in the picture will be included in a set of packages. Please refer to pictures. International buyers. Import duties, taxes, and charges are not included in the item price or shipping costs. So yeah, it'll probably cost an arm and a leg to have it sit here from Japan. Rodney, a small company like Kunos don't know their player base is drowning with performance issues in VR. They got one game to focus on. Not like they're working on Forza Horizon type game, and that's a junior programmer. How is it not possible for to fix rendering issues? Okay, so I talked about this earlier. A couple of things are going on right now with Kunos. So we'll start with the terrible VR optimization. According to Marco Massaruto, that is because of the Unreal 4 engine. He said in an interview with Traxi and GG that the Unreal 4 engine is generic and it lacked features, and it was bad for VR optimization. And when they developed a set of, when they developed a set of Corsa, they were developing it with their own engine. And I guess Stefano, whoever that is, my phone's shutting down. I guess he wrote most of the code by himself. And because he was doing most of the work by himself, he requested a commercial engine to speed up the process. So they went with Unreal. So that's why you have the horrible optimization, according to them, is because of the Unreal Engine. I've gone into Eris's Discord before and asked them if they had planned to use Unreal 5 for ACC. And one of the moderators stepped in and said that they would basically have to tear the entire game down again and rebuild it to use Unreal 5. So that's not going to happen. And then the other thing, Kunos is working on a set of Corsa 2. And for that game, they are building their own engine for that game. So Kunos is busy right now because they're not even handling the port for a set of Corsa Competizione on consoles. Untold Games is dealing with the port. They're the ones that's dealing with the updates and the bugs and all that shit. So that is the situation with Kunos. They're going to have a U.S. release in 2023, Pico. And you said just sounds like lazy devs explain Star Wars Squadrons. You know what? Star Wars Squadrons, even F-122, Star Wars Squadrons and F-122. I simply think that EA just doesn't have the talent to make a full-blown VR game. Because what they've basically done with F-122 and Star Wars Squadrons, they've basically done what the VR modders have done. The gameplay is in VR, but the cutscenes are flat screen. I think that's what's going to happen with PlayStation VR too. A lot of these so-called hybrid games that they're talking about, these AAA flat screen games with VR support, because the VR support, in my opinion, is not going to be native. I think a lot of these games, when it comes to the cutscenes, are going to be flat screen, and only the gameplay itself will be in VR. EA's first dive into VR was the Star Wars Rogue One mission. There was an add-on to the original Star Wars Battlefront. I played that. The entire experience was in VR, but it didn't have any cutscenes. Basically, the radio chatter was your story. You know, people talking back and forth over the radio, explaining what they were looking for and that kind of stuff. You said, don't say anything wrong about Star Wars Squadrons. It is what it is. And when PS5 dropped, that game might get a revive in players. I hope so. Actually, Rodney, Star Wars Squadrons is one of my favorite games. Star Wars Squadrons basically made a childhood dream come true to be able to actually sit in an X-Wing fighter and actually shoot down some TIE fighters. So I'm okay with so despite what I've said about the game, I'm okay with the cutscenes being flat screen. Don't have a problem with that at all. Because the most important part of the game is in VR. So I'm actually fine with that. I still play Star Wars Squadrons from time to time. Code Yogurt, Iron Man VR coming to Quest. And looks like Meta picked them up. They owned them. Looks like Meta bought them. What the hell is wrong with Sony not picking them up? In the case of Iron Man VR, I was so excited for that game. But I think those Move controllers made the game feel like it had its moments where it was a point and click type of game. I don't think Camouflage can be blamed for that. I think those fucked up Move controllers on the PSVR compromised a lot of devs to the point where you didn't get good control implementation or you didn't get the game at all. The controls on Iron Man VR, I didn't feel like the tracking was that great. So I'm hoping, I actually want to give Iron Man VR another chance on Quest. The only thing about it is, I'll probably go ahead and buy it on Quest because if they give it the PC code of paint, then it could look a lot better, especially, versus PSVR. I hope they don't do a lazy port on this game. That being said, I never finished Iron Man VR on PSVR. Now that I know that it's coming to Quest and it could get proper control implementation, that might be where I go back and I might go back and buy the game and finish it there. Because I really do want to finish that game because I am a comic book nut. Iron Man is in my top 5 of favorite Marvel heroes. Thor's my favorite. Wolverine and Black Panther might be tied for second. Captain America might be third. And I would make Iron Man 4th or 5th. Ham, you say flat cutscenes don't bother me. If it means we gotta get a VR game though, especially for racing games like F122. Totally agree, Ham. And I have to say right now, F122 is the best looking game that I've ever played in VR. Ham helped me with some settings for F122. Got my headset running at 2736p. Tinkered around with the in-game settings enough where I still got good visuals, but the headset ran good. Those night races on F122 look gorgeous in VR. I really feel like I'm in Dubai or Saudi Arabia or something, you know, in one of those races in VR. I was initially pissed with EA because F122 ran like dog shit. They put a number of updates in the game. While it's not perfect, it's still a lot better than what it was. It's good enough that I can play it. Sometimes I get caught looking around on F122 being amazed by how the game feels alive. And you sitting at the starting line and you look up and you see the crowd and everybody's moving. The entire crowd is moving. Whereas games like I said, of course, the Competizione or Automobilista 2, the fans up in the bleachers are like paper cutouts. You might have one occasional fan that's waving a flag, but the rest of them are just cutouts that are just standing there like this and shit. On F122, the fans are actually moving around. Even if the graphics on them are downgraded, it still looks alive when you look up and see every seat in those stands has a character in it, and they're all moving around. You said Iron Man felt like a VR experience more than a game. I think with Iron Man VR, the way you fly, I'm kind of okay with that. The problem is that I think sometimes the tracking on PSVR can be dog shit. So it made it hard to fly with Iron Man. Places where I was supposed to land, it was hard to land where I was supposed to because the tracking was terrible. When I'm supposed to stay in the air and shoot down all these aliens, which Iron Man basically looked like a glorified wave shooter. But I wanted to play it for the story. But sometimes when I'm in the air trying to use the repulsors to shoot down some of those aliens, the controls got fucked up and he started flying again when I didn't want him to fly. Like all that kind of shit. And that's why, like that combined with Iron Man feeling like a glorified wave shooter, I just didn't have any desire to play it. If they get the controls right on the Quest, even though it's a glorified wave shooter, I still might come back to it because I still want to see the story play out. I mean, speaking of which, I got to get back to Medal of Honor on my other channel here soon. The reason why you guys haven't seen me playing Medal of Honor on my other channel is because the game runs wonky. That computer in there, Medal of Honor crashes. It won't even boot. This one here, the game itself runs good, but when I open up OBS and try to stream it, some of the streams have not come out good. You said the day I can play Forza Horizon in VR in high resolution, I know my headset would fill up with tears. You know the game that I think would be a golden opportunity for Sony? Because I think it's a given that GT7 is probably going to get VR support. But I'd like to see them bring back MotorStorm in VR. I think that was their version of Forza Horizon. That was a good game. I had it for PS3. God damn. Still sold out. I knew it was a shot in the dark, but had to try it. Had to try it. See what else they got here for the Valve Index. Knuckles controllers, $250, barely used. Oh, here's an entire setup. The current bid is $660. It's already got 20 bids on it. So I probably wouldn't be willing to go over $700, and somebody would undoubtedly outbid me. Again, this looks like the entire setup. No cables. I don't need the headset, but I don't know. Yeah, you're right, Ham. Save your money for the 4090 and test that first. Yeah. Rodney said, but an open world VR car game is needed. Sometimes you just want to cruise. That would be true, but I think an open world VR cruise game that's like built from the ground up for VR, an open world, I think it'd be pretty demanding. Even a good Need for Speed port would be pretty awesome. I'm not a Need for Speed dude, but I would try almost any racing game in VR. I mean, because I did have, I do got Dirt Rally 1 and 2. I tried them once, but when my computer took a dump and I ended up having to buy a new computer, build a new computer, I didn't put them back into my computer because the files are so big, because I have a cap. I get 1,229 gigs per month. And when I do minimal downloading, I still go through about 800 gigs a month. just, you know, from watching YouTube or streaming to YouTube, or just for the simple fact that the router's turned on. So that allotment only gives me about enough cap to download maybe one big game and several small games a month. And both Dirt Rally 1 and 2, both of those games I think are about 90 gigs each. And I don't play the game enough to justify going over my cap, because if you go over your cap with Comcast, they charge you $10 for every 50 gigs that you go over. And not only do they charge you for going over your cap, they also throttle you and basically treat you like you some kind of high risk customer. If you're a person that uses up a lot of broadband and you having to pay extra every month, they throttle you. A set of Corsair with track mods is pretty cool. Check out the Shutaku Revival Project. Okay. It's because of the Assetto Corsa mods that I don't give two shits whether or not VR support comes to GT7 or not, because I'm somewhat disgusted with that game. The egregious microtransactions. Oh, you know something else? Speaking of racing games, let me check my situation with low fuel motorsports. I did 2 races this week on low fuel motorsports, and both of them were disastrous. And this is taking a minute to load. All right, let's see what we got here. We got drop frames. Let me check, see. Nah, no drop frames. Let's refresh this page. Look at that beautiful computer. And that beautiful chair. Jeez, this shit don't normally take this damn long. Yeah, I give up. Holy moly, look at this. What a rotten bastard. This dude what did it say? He sold. Let me go back to this. He sold 11 of these already. And he's got 2 left. 10 people been watching it. What a rotten bastard. People like him is one of the reasons I couldn't get one. It will be interesting to see if Oculus or Steam VR gets an upgrade to use Nvidia's optical flow update for 4000 series cards. I kind of really don't know what that is. Check out Sir Spats Gaming YouTube channel for AC mods. He's pretty thorough. Oh, you said Rodney Wheeler. If you find Rodney, if you find one of those tutorial videos for the ACC mods, it's actually not hard. The only catch from what I'm seeing to these SATA Corsair mods is that when you want to race with your friends and you all want to use the same cards, you all have to use a file that came from the exact same source. So case in point, if you and your friends all want to use a Porsche 911, you can't all just come in there with your own Porsche 911 from different sources. If you guys want to use the same car, the file has to come from the same source. So if you guys ever have something like that, have a cup race or something, my biggest reason for using the SATA Corsair mods is to drive the Mazda 787B, because it's the only car that I can drive in a full race on in VR. You can drive the car in VR on GT Sport, but you cannot run it in a full race. You can run it in a full race in GT7, but you can't run it in VR. So the SATA Corsair mods is the only way that I can drive the 787B in a full race in VR. So I'm talking about the reprojection algorithms. They use an older version of video optical flow. It has an update for new gen cards. Okay. I somewhat get what you're talking about. It's still a little bit over my head, but not so high over my head. The reason these cars are selling is more for video editors and graphic designers working in 4K and have real-time effects is very demanding. So I'd imagine that a lot of these video editors that were looking to get a 4090 probably already had a 3090 or a 3090 Ti. So as far as video editing goes, is the 4090 that much of a jump over the 3090 Ti? Let's speaking of algorithms, hey, I gotta use that pin code so I can start getting me money from YouTube. I probably made about a cool $70 so far. I'm going to turn down the volume, but let's look in on Jardier real quick. See what he's doing. He's in 6th place. I'm trying to see if he's in there against Tortellini or UKOG, because he streams over on Twitch. And he's using the NSX, which seems to be trending. People seem to be using the NSX. It's about a 30% overall boost in DaVinci Resolve, so pretty good, Lincoln, yes. Some AI affected up to 40%. Woo, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. I edit weddings and events over here in the East Coast. Even my 3060 is saving me much time compared to my old 2060. I gotcha. Damn, how long have I been live? At least a couple hours. Yeah, going on 2.5 hours. Yeah, it's definitely going to be time to wrap this up here in a few minutes. Fatal Charade, what's good? I came up short, man. Couldn't do it. Couldn't get one. They didn't carry any in store. Well, I'm going to boogie on out of here. Take a short nap, get up, eat, and probably get some practice on ACC so I can enter a low field motorsports race tomorrow. It's that time of the year, just hot off of Connect event in John Carmack's speech yesterday. I didn't even bother watching the John Carmack part. And as far as the Connect goes, I was at work when it was going on, but I didn't have any interest in watching it in the first place because I'm tired of hearing about the damn metaverse. VR is going to be hot for a week or two. I don't want to make you cry, but I think I've got a dia patch notification of a 4090. God damn it. That's from this morning. Oh. It's a waste of time, but we'll try it again. Proceed to checkout. I'm going to flip my shit when I click that proceed checkout. And it asks for a payment method. Visa, MasterCard, yada, yada, yada. It can be yours for $10,000. Keep an eye out for a store called B&H. They're good to have a card pop up now and then. All right, I'll keep my eye on it. If it makes you feel better, UK prices are way worse than US prices. Yeah, but that still don't seem to stop the scalpers. A whole day of work wasted. I'm happy with my 3080. I don't need a 3090. Especially since I just bought this thing 5 months ago. I can go either way with it, Fatal. I can present cases to you why I think I need it. I can make cases to you that I don't need it. My favorite game is the reason why I do need it. If I was content with the settings that I'm running with now, then no, I wouldn't need it. But I want the full experience across the board. The only good thing I can say about the PC that I have now, that it gets the job done. So I'm not in a situation where I got to give in to scalpers. And not only that, I'm hoping that the whole complexion of this scalper shit changes once AMD releases their cards. Then not only that, next month we've got the 4080s releasing. Next month. So all of these scalpers, as far as I'm concerned, I said it before and I'll say it again, all of these scalpers that bought up the 4090s, they're on the clock. As far as I'm concerned, they got 1 month to get rid of those cards before they have to start taking losses. Said, I would hate to give away my secret, but in New York, small camera and video stores usually will have cards in stock on the low. Scalpers don't look there. If you have another social, I will send some links. One second. That is my Twitter, Rodney Wheeler. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'll give you a follow back and then you can DM me the links. At the height of the pandemic, I had 4 PS5s. Wow. One month before Clay gets medieval on the ass. I'm about to get medieval on your ass. I'm about to call up some motherfuckers with wire pyres, blow torches. Scalper alert, paying him. It actually crossed my mind to sell my PS5 when I first got it because that was at the height of the pandemic as well, and they were super, super hard to get. But I knew if I sold my PS5, it could be months before I get another one. Code Yogurt, my index is yours. What's the 12K, Lance? Said, "Lo, just a man who knows a good opportunity." It was for friends and family, never scalped. Gotcha. Right? I can tell you flat out, him, if it wasn't for PSVR 2, I would have sold my PS5. God of War Ragnarok and Wolverine are the only games coming to PlayStation that I don't want to wait until they come to PC. Spider-Man 2, I can wait for that to come to PC because I have not finished the first Spider-Man, nor have I finished Miles Morales. I'm waiting for somebody to come up with a mod for Spider-Man on PC, and then I'll rebuy it again on PC. The Best Buy in Toronto says they still have it in downtown store. Yeah, but it would probably cost me an arm and a leg to send it there. And not only that, I understand shit is much more expensive in Canada than it is the United States. Wait a minute. Holy shit, it said add to cart. It says I'm in line. They teased me. They teased me. They teased me. Oh. What happened? Oh, they sold out. Shit. They sold out. That's what's been happening to me all day. It's like this morning when I was there, when pre-orders went live, it's like every 15 minutes a card would come up and it would say add to cart. Click on it and it says we'll verify your content, check in inventory, And then after about 2 or 3 minutes, it'll come back saying that it's sold out. I figured I don't need to play a slightly shinier Cyberpunk, and everything else will be the same. Yeah, but that's not why I need it. I want it for a set of Corsa Competizione in VR. The game is terribly optimized, and simply put, the more horsepower you got, the better the game looks. Yeah, fucking bots, fucking bastards. Ay, 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 ay. Now they put me behind the 8-ball with this bullshit. Now they're making it hard for me to go to bed. So what I'm wondering is, these scalpers that's got the bots buying these cards for them, I wonder if they like put a limit on how many cards they want the bots to buy up. Flip my shit. So when I go take this nap, I'm going to have to fire up my PC in the bedroom just so I can wake up every 20 minutes and keep hitting the refresh button and see what's there. Motherfuckers. You said, I'm going to be in the downtown area of Manhattan where there's a lot of mom and pops PC stores. I will see what I can find Sunday or Monday. All right. I can go back to MSI. Try that again. Nope, nothing new there. Oh my God. I could try Newegg, but I was listening to Sick Humor earlier, and pretty much the same shit happened to him. He got something in the cart, and when he tried to check out, he got the same shit sold out. Plus, I think they're doing some scalping of their own. Every single 4090 here is out of stock. My boy just hit me. They have limited stock in Brooklyn, New York. No joking. Micro Center. One. Cases, graphics cards. Ain't that a bitch? You was right, Rodney Wheeler. I typed in a New York. Limited availability, buy in store. That's what Best Buy was supposed to be doing. I'm going to have to register with them. He just hit you on the Zoom and showed you the stock room. Damn. I got a rapper friend that works as a cashier there. There's a few in the store at the Micro Center in Detroit. Yeah, Madison Heights. That's the closest one. Same deal, says limited availability, buy in store. Says unavailable online. See, like I said, man, like Best Buy is some straight bitches the way they handled this shit. Said New York, we don't scalp, we hustle. Somebody was live this morning. They were sitting at a Micro Center in a lawn chair and a blanket. Micro Center don't sell. Last time I was there, I had really. They had a rope line like you was going to the club. Damn. It's a long shot, but let's come back to Best Buy. It's some goddamn shit. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get the hell out of here before you guys spend the next hour watching me clicking and refreshing shit and losing my damn mind. Click, 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 click. All right. All right, I had enough beat my head up against the wall. I'm about to get on out of here, y'all. Thanks for watching. We're going to keep plugging away. Hopefully we'll get one. And fuck scalpers. So, thanks for watching. I'll try to get a low fuel motorsports video out sometime this week. See how it goes. And until then, we'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Until the next time, you all know the line. Wakanda forever. Long live the king. And deuces. Hopefully the next time you guys see or hear from me, I'll have a card. Have a good one, everybody.